All right, good morning. Welcome to our Hsing I Chuan program for this Wednesday morning. Last class for the month of November. We're into our December program starting next week. So let's get our feet settled in and we'll just let the head rise and fall. And looking from side to side. And we'll go ear to one shoulder and to the other. First side. Second, couple of half circles in the front. Good, and let's warm up the shoulders up, back, and down. And again. And one more time. And then we're going to reverse. We're going to come up the back, around and down. Good. Into the arms, we're going to cross the arms, rise up, out to the sides and down. And then the other way. And reach it up and droop and hang to one side. And over to the other. Again to the first side. And the second. Let those arms go nice and loose. Kind of wrap around the body a bit. And then we're going to cradle an arm, pull it across. And same on the other side. Over the head and a pull. And same on the other side. And we'll go behind the back and pull. And same on the other arm. And let's warm up the hips. Take them around one way. And around the other. One more time, the first way. And the second. Let's continue to warm up the hips. We'll circle from the inside to the outside. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. From the outside to the inside. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. A little bit up to the chest. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good. Shake it out a little bit and feet together. We'll go knees around one way and knees around the other. Good. And we can shake it out. Okay, so last week we were working on some pieces from the I Chuan system that are saying will kind of help with figuring out some of the internal connections that can then sort of support and expand some of your Hsing I work as well. So let's start out today with the ball rolling exercise. So we're going to go palms face one another. We're going to carry this over to one side. We're going to drop the back arm down, palms face palm. Roll that arm around to the opposite shoulder. Back arm goes down. We roll that around. So we're going to warm up our trunk, warm up our shoulder blades and upper back. Try not to let your legs wobble. Sink into the ground and circulate around. Good. A few more. Just warm it up today with some of these. Then we want to be able to circle that ball the other way around. So we're rolling this over. Last couple. Good. Now let's go. 1, 2, 3, change. Other direction. 2, 3, change. 3, change. And change. Change. And change. Good. Okay. And we'll shake it out there. All right, let's work on one that helps a little bit with our wood fist, that sort of spiraling, drilling, or pounding kind of motion where we're rolling and pushing through. So let's start with both arms together. So we're going to push down the middle. We're going to spread the arms out. We're going to draw back. We're going to settle and push down the middle again. So we go open and push, draw and push, draw to push. And let's work that on the other leg. So we'll change up the leg. So we're sitting into that back leg. We're pushing out. At the sort of push gets 90% of the forward motion. The last 10% is that kind of spreading out and expanding of the arms. And then we draw back and push again. Yep. Now, the way we want to work this one to help with our wood fist a little bit more is to separate those two. So we're going to have kind of like parallel ovals running parallel to the floor, parallel to one another, where we're rolling down that center line. So from here, what we're going to do is we're going to go push out with the back hand, pressing out with the front hand. We're going to wipe that away. We're going to drop the elbow to line it up. We're going to push through. We're going to wipe away. We're going to drop the elbow and push. So we're rolling front and back. Just a few more rotations on this arm. And let's go with the other arm forward, other leg forward, other arm as our lead. So we're wiping out to the side and driving in with the back arm. Back arm rolls and pulls and opens, front arm presses. Couple more. Good. Okay. Well, let's go with one more I Chuan exercise this morning. And this one helps with that sort of newer uppercut section that we were adding to the form. And we're going to go 1 foot forward, 1 foot back. And one of the ways to think about this is kind of like a U. You're coming down in the middle and up on the side, down, up. So we've got this kind of swaying motion. And what we want to do is we want to dip and then punch with the back arm. Lead arm is kind of up and wedging. Dip and wedge off the front. So we're rolling 1 and 2. So we want to get a feeling of engaging the glutes as part of our shove against the ground and then push through the ground. Couple more. then let's switch our lead leg. So dip, pop, dip, pop. 1. And we're kind of rolling on the balls of the feet for this exercise. Couple more. Good. Okay, so we've headed into our dragon section of the set. So why don't we do a bit of dragon stepping pattern and a bit of the dragon arms. Now we're saying dragon, when we're using it as the movement from the animals, we've got this kind of rolling up and pressing down. But in our set, it's a little bit more like metal, where it's kind of coming through and driving. But let's start with a bit of footwork. Let's start with a bit of strengthening. So this is where we're going to go stomp down, squat in, hop up, stomp through, squat down, hop up. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let's add some arm work now. So we're going to go gather, stomp, press down. 1, gather, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Good. We can shake it out there again. Let's do one more piece that's going to be jumping into the set next. So our regular wood fist work, we have our push and catch up, our some toy, our pressure through the ground. So let's do a few of those. So we're going to go, here's that work we were just doing from the I Chuan. Now we want to link it to the punching. So we're twisting and punching one as we're moving with one leg forward. Then we can shift that up and we can work it on the other side. Just a quick review there, but let's look at, and we have looked at this in some previous lessons, the way we're going to see. So at the beginning of the set, we see that wood fist opening. We're shoving through, we're rocking back, we're going back into that same piece. Now we're going to get into another set of wood fist strikes, but this is the one with that alternate timing we were talking about, where we're going to go stomp up and then drive out. So I go boom, boom, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. Now a big part of this is kind of dropping into that front hip. Drop into the front hip as you start to press out and then fire out from that back leg. So drop in, push out, drop in, push out. You can take a little bit of space with it. You can still kind of shuffle in, but you're kicking that foot through, but then you're driving that out. So fall into that front hip, drive off the back leg to choke up, and then immediately cross the body. So the first hit, we're kind of powering from the back leg, and we're moving in. Bam. And we're stealing a bit of space. Now what we want to do is we want to push that foot into the ground to drive our lead arm. So we've got this nice extended lead arm technique. So we go boom, boom, 1 and 2, 1 and 2. Just a couple more. 1 and 2, 1, 2. Through, step through. Okay, so that's going to get integrated today into our set. What else have we been working on a little bit of? We've been working on that idea of pounding the mortar by getting a feeling of this kind of billowing open and driving to close. So we're coming across. So we see this with the big movements from the phoenix arms, but we can also work this just kind of down a little lower, but we want to feel like we're kind of creating a bellows in the body. So we're trying to learn how to quickly integrate the muscle groups in the core to kind of condense inwards, to bring things in. As we bring things in, we want to think of this hand as a whip. It whips through and catches. Here we're kind of hitting with the hand too. So in terms of some hit techniques that we're practicing inside that little subtle pounding the mortar moment, we've got this hammering kind of motion. And this is one that I use a huge amount when I'm teaching self-defense, because it tends to target the jaw and the side of the neck. There's a lot of juicy pressure points and nerve endings in that area that can cause knockout style motions. So we want to think of hitting here. It could be that we're going to hit the rib cage and blast into those floating ribs. Depending on the angles, we could be hitting into somebody's solar plexus. We could be pounding against the temple, the jaw. If we get into the side of the body, we could be, thinking about striking against the organs in the insides. But we have this kind of circle. So it's open. If we exaggerate it, which we do in the set, we open everything up. And then we think about from here, pulling everything into center. As we pull everything into center, we're going to pound the mortar. Boom, we're going to create that fast, sharp hit. And then what we're trying to do with the palm here is with both these hands, we're trying to express a little bit of striking potential. So when we're hitting, we don't want to bounce and pop off something. We want to have some transfer of energy. So that takes a bit of just a moment of sticking to the target. Now, on the other hand, we have this palm hitting. So here we're getting a chance to kind of hit it against another surface as well. So we're bringing the two together. Now a palm, again, is a very underestimated self-defense technique. This could be, again, hitting for the side of the head, particularly in this case, cupping the ear and striking into the ear. We've got body hits with these heavy, heavy hands. One of the things internal martial arts looks for is heaviness in the hands. And so this is a great exercise just to think of closing, opening, closing, opening. Okay, time's going to do what it usually does, disappears too fast on us. So let's go into the new section that we're going to be looking at so we can then link it to the rest of the set. So last time we were working, we had come through from our fire fists. We had gone back with our earth, 1, 2, 3. And we got into our uppercut section, our bear eagle piece. So we were rolling back and we're shoving in with a rear arm uppercut. We are then spiraling that left hand in. We're kicking through with a stomp, and we get our version of dragon here. And that's where we left it off. We've kind of hit with dragon. So now what we're going to do from here is we're going to come up and we're going to go step out, step in slightly, pound, and then push out, punch. So we're saying we're going to integrate that moment, that version of wood fist into the set, and here's where it is. So I have gone uppercut off the rear arm, so my right hand is doing an uppercut, left leg is forward. I come through with the inside stomp kick. I'm spiraling through with the left hand, so I can smash down. Now I'm going to step through and shuffle in, boom, and press out, punch. One more time. So, or a few more times really. Uppercut, kick to dragon, reach out with the left, pushing off the right to stomp, pushing off the right leg to come through with that lead left arm punch. Two more times from this angle, and I'll switch it up and do it from the other side. So we've gone uppercut, kick, dragon, palm, wood fist, catch up with that back leg, wood fist, step out with the front leg. So earth, earth. From here, uppercut, stomp, palm strike from the dragon. Wood fist 1, wood fist 2. I'll just face the other way, just gives you some details from different directions. So I've gone step back 1, cross with the wood fist, earth fist, cross with the earth fist, roll back, shuffle in for your uppercut. Left hand starts to spiral in as we stomp. Left hand down with the palm as we pull in. We're going to place that weight so we can relieve our left leg. We're going to push in and then step through, step back out again. So we're not changing the lead. Again, we're just kind of shuffling up in that space. So uppercut, stomp, palm, wood fist 1, 2. Earth, 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 uppercut, stomp, dragon, wood fist 1, 2. And we want those to really end up being a 1, 2. Last time from this direction. So 1, 2, 3. We're in that left leg is light. We've got the right arm already out. So we've kind of hit with an uppercut. Remember talking that these earth uppercuts could be coming from the inside, and then suddenly we roll back and we hit from the other side. So we could be going 1, 2. We're just kind of working the person over. We've taken their shirt, we've pulled it over their head, we're Canadian, and we're just feeding them some uppercuts. So we're going to go uppercut, 1, stomp, condense, and down. Boom, down into that technique. Then from here, we're winding up. Pull back, stepping through, and everything condenses in and then drives back out. One more, why not? Uppercut, kick, palm, punch, punch. Okay, we're going to jump into the whole set, and that is the entire set. So we've now seen the set to the end. We are now coming into our turnaround moment, and we're going to repeat. Much like all Hsing I, it's about taking a couple of really core concepts and drilling and drilling and drilling to make them incorporated into your natural motion. So next thing we have to start thinking about is what I call an inside turnaround. When I want to change 180 degrees by turning my feet inwards. So in this case, for the set, we're going to be left leg forward. So what we're going to think about here is turning in. So we're kind of have this pigeon-toed moment so we can spiral back out the other way. We're just going to do this as a bit of a drill for learning how to do quick inside turns. So we're going to make 90-degree changes for now. So we're going to go weight the left, turn in with the right, sit back on the right, so you've made your turn. We can weight the right leg, turn in with the left, sit back on the left. We've made a 90-degree turn. So let's try that a few times. Turn in right, weight the right. Weight the right, turn in left, weight the left. There's our 90-degree. So, when we're sparring and stuff and we pivot in with this foot so we can track people, someone moves and we can track them with our inside turn motion. And we want to do that in a way that we turn and also produce potential for that. We keep talking about so much of Hsing I is about that thrust potential against the ground. So let's add a bit of that to it. So I'm going to weight my left leg. I'm going to turn in my right. I'm going to weight my right leg so that I can push out of it. Going the other way, I'm going to weight the right leg, turn in the left, weight the left leg so you can then push out of that leg. A couple more times. 1, 2, push, turn in, settle, push. Now, that's on a 90. Same idea for 180. So let's say we have our right leg forward here. I weight, and now I turn in with that right, and I step out, and I'm 180 degrees to where I started. I shift my weight into the right leg, turn in my left, draw in that right leg as I weight this so I can push back out. Now, this isn't exactly what we're going to do in the set, but this is something I want you to work on for a bit. So turn in, settle, push. Now, one of the things to watch out for, don't turn your head around. Don't let this arc happen. The spine stays as a central column, and we rotate around that column. If you've been doing this for a while and you want something a little trickier to work on, you can push, turn, catch, and push again. So you could push, turn, catch, push again. So you can think about this as a way to kind of shuffle and move and spiral in. So anytime we kick those heels, we can think about turning and changing our angle. All right, time is doing its usual thing. So why don't we go through the set to the turnaround. When we get back in December, we're going to focus on the dragon turnaround. So the dragon fist is going to link with a 180-degree turning. So we start out, and the boards on the floor, that's the direction I'm heading. I'm 45 degrees to those. We had our Qigong, where we were talking about that lifting of energy up the spine, rooting up the spine, rooting, spiraling the weight into the right leg as we coil through with the right arm, spiraling the left hand into place, and we step through to metal. Then we go wood, shuffle. We have that slip back to hook stance. So we're covering with the lead arm and we're driving back. And then we come back in with another wood fist. Now we get our 45 section. So we cross, push back 1, cover, cross, push back 2. And here's what we were working at the beginning. Pound the mortar, pull it all in. Contain that as you step, release it as you punch with fire. Now we get our earth backwards, step back. So we're extending the left leg, we're sitting back into the left leg. We're stepping diagonal with the right leg, we're sitting in on the right leg, and we stay on the right leg for our second hit. We're then going to pull back and uppercut. We're going to kick and palm. And here's our new one. We're going to step through, shuffle up, punch, step through, or step out, punch. Okay, we're a little over time today, but let's do one more. So we have 1, 2, 3, carry through and palm. Wood fist, roll back, slip back, earth, come forward, wood fist, cover, step 1, cross, back 2 on the diagonal, pound the mortar, step in, push out, step back 1 with earth, 2 and 3, roll, bear eagle uppercut, stomp through and dragon, wood fist, rear arm step up, lead arm step out. So when we get back together in December, we'll work on the turnaround, and we have kind of worked through the base choreography of our set. Not a long set, much like Hsing I, very compact, but once we start looking at all the complex work that it gives us and all the detailed internal work that it gives us, we can unpack these short sequences for a very long time. All right, thanks for training today. Good. Got questions? Stick around. Let's take those, and we will see you in December. Thanks for training today.